Hi, I'm Peter from Coffee Parts and I'm here with Erik Martin, looking at some of Marzocco's greatest home machines, the LevaX and the GS3 MP. So before we get into these two awesome machines, firstly, welcome Erik.
Thank you.
Awesome to have you back.
Always a pleasure.
We've done some videos on both machines already and we're going to jump in and get coffees going straight away. But for those that don't know you, you want to give a 30-second bio, who you are?
Totally. So my name's Erik. I work in sales for Marzocco in our Sydney space in Botany. I've been with Marzocco for 4.5 years and loving every minute. Just flying the Marzocco flag all over Australia, and you know, there's nothing more I love than making espresso with mates.
So you know these machines well?
Yeah, no, these machines have been a big part of my professional life for a long period of time, and I've certainly fallen in love with both of them equally. There's the LevaX, which is definitely the new kid on the block, so to speak, and the GS3 MP, which has been part of our range, you know, for a long period of time. But both make exquisite espresso, and that's something that I'm really passionate about sharing with the prosumer market, like that kind of premium end of the home espresso market. Is, you know, it's sharing the knowledge that we have with Marzocco and being able to produce exceptional espresso that other people haven't been able to try yet is something that I'm really passionate about. So beautiful machines.
These machines on paper, very similar. You got 1.3 litre brew boiler, 1.5, so very similar. The difference there is because of the chamber in the head. You got the same 3.5 litre steam boilers, got 2 litre water reservoirs, both have adjustable hot water taps, both saturated group heads, both have shot timers. So it's very similar, yet very different.
Absolutely.
I think the only way to start seeing it, instead of rambling on about them, is to pull some shots.
Let's do it. I'm excited. You're going to find some similarities, but some really, really cool differences, which I love sharing.
So before we pull a shot, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. We're releasing 3 videos a week and it'll be really cool to have you on the journey. But with that in mind, let's get into this shot. So we preloaded the portafilter with 20 grams of coffee, and we're gonna aim for a 2-to-1 ratio. So hopefully getting 40 grams out.
Cool. So the first thing you notice about the Leva is this clutch mechanism. This actually controls how much of the pre-infusion chamber is open. So this actually essentially controls the end volume of your shot as well. So if we're gonna aim for a 2-to-1 ratio, I'm gonna aim for one of the bottom 2 notches. So let's start by choosing the second from the bottom notch, engaging and pulling down the lever. Now this is starting a pre-infusion of 3.1 bars, and that's what the pump is set at the back there. We've got about 10-11 seconds of pre-infusion. Once that first drop happens, I'm going to release the shot.
And now, because this machine is running off tank, you've got a pump emulating the line pressure. If you had it plumbed in, it would bypass the tank and run off the line pressure. But that's now gave us the 3.1 bars pre-infusion. Now we're running around currently 8.4 bars. You do have a screen there showing the flow, and we're letting the lever do its thing.
Absolutely. So it's a really different approach to producing espresso that I don't think people are really used to in the modern day espresso machine market. What we're really doing is basic mechanics of opening a chamber and letting the tension spring really do the work of the pressure. Obviously, as the chamber shrinks in size, the pressure is actually going to be decreasing as that goes on. So you've got a nice linear kind of line graph of a decrease in pressure, and it just creates a really beautiful shot.
You can dial in the max pressure by adjusting the back of the group head there.
Yeah.
But once the shot's activated, it's the lever that's controlling it.
Yep. Essentially, what you actually have to do is you have to adjust it via a wrench, a tool. So you have to get it from the garage, and that's the beautiful thing about the lever machines, is that they are really mechanical in a sense. We got to get to that perfect 2-to-1 ratio there via choosing the second notch, hit 42 grams. So yeah, a nice long pre-infusion and something very unique with this shot.
I'm biased because I've always had a soft spot for every shot coming from a Leva. There's just something sweet and smooth about it that it's kind of hard to describe in words. I'm not very good at tasting notes, so I don't know how to describe it. I think the theater of it also, for me, the user experience of a machine really changes my engagement on how I feel about coffee. But I think even on blind testing, this coffee will always be unique.
Yeah, and it is a really unique machine. There's something that is really poetic about, kind of trying to reinvent the old Leva machines, but bringing it to modern day specs. So again, adjusting, you're going to have a different grind compared to other espresso machines on the market, because other espresso machines on the market really work off that 9-bar pump pressure. This really is a simple mechanic piston spring induced pressure, which creates an exquisite espresso, an exquisite pressure profile, and something truly unique about the whole experience. The long pre-infusion really creates a really buttery, smooth, soft espresso. So,
and that's the thing. A lot of times on this, you can control however much pre-infusion you want, but a lot of times you're running around the 10-second plus pre-infusion. So quite long compared to traditional pump activated machine where the pre-infusion is bang.
Yep, absolutely. And it's something that really it's very difficult to emulate this type of experience, but also to be able to see it in front of you on a screen and then try to replicate that previous shot, or understand maybe your pre-infusion was a bit shorter this time, or your dose was a little different. You're going to be able to see that representative pressure profile on an electronic screen as you produce a shot, which is
and you can save the ones you like, so you can try. It ghosts it, so you still have to do it every time, but you get the ghost profile.
Exactly.
So it really helps in emulating a shot that you enjoyed.
Yeah, it's certainly a unique experience. Yeah, it's incredible, and something really special about being able to re-replicate something that is so unique.
Now, both these machines are same, but different. So you've got a 1.3 litre boiler for your brew compared to 1.5 litre on this machine. But the difference is also because of the lever or the piston chamber. They're both saturated boilers, both PID controlled, and both of them you do have a display that's showing you your shot time and your temperature, etc. They're running the same handle. In this case, we're running the same basket to keep the machines equal. They both have 3.5 litre steam boilers, which are huge. Marzocco dry steam, you're not going to run out of capacity.
Absolutely.
They both have hot water taps that have adjustable over here on this one, under there on that one, to be able to bleed in some cold water to control your hot water. And they're both 10 amp machines, so you can plug and play them pretty much anywhere. In saying that, that machine is really heavy.
Yes.
Moving that around, as much as you can, it's portable in the sense that you can take it, reservoir, and plug it in. Yeah. It's either I'm really weak or that's really heavy.
It's true. This is definitely obviously a very obvious sizable difference when you put them side by side on a bench.
It's funny because this machine in people's houses is normally quite a statement, and then it looks quite small compared to the LevaX.
Yeah, now this, when you put them side by side, you can really tell that this is a statement piece. Not only is it a statement piece, it's state-of-the-art engineering. So they've got very similar differences, but the R&D team in Florence really stepped it up when introducing new technologies. It's got the Strata potentiometer, electronic steam wand here. The firmware and the screens involved, the electronics involved with this machine is definitely a step up. You've got the internals of this machine, which are, definitely a lot more complicated, but in a way it's going to create a much more premium temperature stability. You've got added features all throughout the internals of the machine that, techs all over Australia and the world really love.
Visually, it's made to be a showpiece with being able to see not only into the lever, from the side into the machine. It is made to be a showpiece externally and internally. So it's a very raw machine in that sense.
Yes.
But it's I love it. It's unique.
I could tell.
But let's jump on to this one. Now, this has
Yep.
been a staple for a lot of homes, a lot of offices, a lot of coffee carts.
Yes.
In this case, in the manual paddle, does come in the volumetric if you're more of an office and just wanted to pump coffees out.
Absolutely.
The manual allows you to control your flow at the group head.
Yeah.
In previous videos, I said 3, 6, 9 because that's the way I think of it. Obviously, you can actually control the flow,
The complete
in between.
experience. Yeah.
But let's just jump on, do a shot here. To an extent, emulate this in terms of pre-infusion, then going straight up to full 9 bars and then bringing it back down.
Okay.
I'm kind of seeing the differences.
Let's do it. I'm excited to do the shot and taste the differences.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
So we've loaded in 20 grams of
Yes.
coffee, same grind, same portafilter, same basket, just to keep it semi-neutral.
Yeah.
In saying that, normally would grind a little bit finer on a rotary pump machine than possibly I would on that lever.
That's
Or we're
correct.
just keeping it same, but different.
Absolutely. It's a great comparison.
Just gonna activate the pre-infusion, let it ramp up.
All right. We're in business.
Still aiming for the same yield out. So just keeping eyes. Now that it's hit 30, I'm just gonna back it down and cut it off.
Great.
Letting it drip out.
Yum. Thank you so much. Yeah, obvious differences straight away from the aroma.
Both are good. It's just different. I feel like I'm always a bit biased every time that machine's involved. I
Yeah.
actually really like this coffee though.
It's difficult to compare things to the LevaX because it creates such a smooth, buttery feel to its to every espresso shot that it creates. Yeah, it's definitely a premium product, but this is also a phenomenal espresso.
I feel like with Leva, it always has this almost smoother, almost sweeter taste.
Yep. Yeah, it's
just
very similar with a lot of different like beans and origins. No matter what, you're really going to get a fantastic espresso.
Realistically, it depends on what grinder, conical versus flat blades, what pumps,
Yeah.
how long your pre-infusion. Like, probably should have dialed it in a bit finer on this
Yep.
machine, but we just wanted to keep everything identical.
Yep.
But there's so much you could play with it. Realistically, on this, you could just run it shorter, longer. So we could play on that, even run the pre-infusion longer, run the volume. So it's just two different experiences. It's hard to compare.
And in saying that, you can get a lot more freedom out of these shots. So if you really want to play around with your espresso and try new things, try longer pre-infusions, try shorter pre-infusions, try post-infusions, different pressure profiles, different max pressures, you have that available at the flick of a wrist, essentially, with this machine. This machine certainly is set up for a certain purpose, and the pre-infusion does have some limitations. The length of the shot has kind of set volumes. This gives you incredible freedom.
This one you can cut off. As complicated as the LevaX looks, it's probably actually easier to use because you got less options. It looks intimidating.
Yeah.
It's probably an easier machine to use.
Yeah, definitely.
But you definitely have more control, so to speak, on this one.
Yeah, they're two really unique parts of our product range, and definitely two unique parts of the entire espresso prosumer market. There's a uniqueness with both machines that gains a lot of respect in the professional coffee community. So,
and obviously we've done black coffees. If we're doing milk really is identical on both big boilers, dry steam. So once you got milk, you've got a whole different coffee game happening.
Absolutely.
But
they're incredible. So it's
definitely no winner, but I would always pick the LevaX. And I've been quite clear that I've been biased from day one because I love mechanical. I love the way things make me feel rather than necessarily the result as much as I like all things Leva when it comes to coffee.
It's like cars. You always want to go for the bigger engine, right?
Yeah.
But look, I'd be happy with both. These machines are Both incredible parts of our range, and both create incredible espresso. So look, when it sits on a kitchen bench or an office bench or a showroom, there's no real downsides to either.
Yeah, and this one's a bit smaller, a bit easier to live with in that sense.
Yep.
A bit more affordable.
Yep, absolutely.
If you call it GS3 affordable.
Yep, absolutely.
So they're just two different machines.
Yeah, look, they're top of the range for a reason. They give you incredible coffee. So yeah, it's a pleasure to continue to make coffee with you, Pedro, and it's always a joy to show these off side by side. A very unique experience.
Wanted to get these two on camera because I don't think you realize how much of an impact and size that has compared to these two there together.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
With that in mind, I feel like there might be some questions.
Yep.
So let me know in the comments below if you got a question for Erik or myself. If you own one of these, or if you're looking at getting one of these, just curious. Or if you got a completely different lever or flow control machine at home, let me know, let Erik know. And like always, if this video has brought you value, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Thank you, Erik, for being here, and see you guys on the next video.